here. And windows, I will go ahead and say this for a fact. If you have a lot of windows in your place, that's a big problem, because what I've done with my EMF meter is I'll go around the house. You're supposed to have about zero point 0.5 microteslas. About zero point 0.5 microteslas is supposed to be the electromagnetic frequencies, just regular. Um, I go around my house. I'll put my EMF meter up to the window, up to the top of the window, and I'll get like a 1.2 reading or something like that. So if you have a window, they're going to try, and they're hitting you remotely, they're going to try and go through the windows, because that's just, it really lets in those frequencies. I put copper in front of this one, so it's not that bad here. Downstairs, they'll hit me like right by the window. If I sit closer to the window, I'll notice that it's stronger. So I wanted to go through those defenses, because I know there's lots of comments on what to get. So I'll probably make a defensive video, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, and just kind of go over the same thing. Because I know it's like the way we watch these videos on YouTube, you don't see the past videos where I've talked about it. And then lastly, but I leave this for last because I'm still experimenting with it, and it's hard to know if it's working. But there is something called, and I think I showed y'all this. It's a little thing that you can go to Amazon.com. It's like $60, and it's called like a Hadron protector, and it's this little thing. I mean, it's small, 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 small. Look how small it is. And it's supposed to be like the #1 radiation shield out there. But, I mean, a lot of these things are talking about cell phone signals and Wi-Fi signals. So what we're dealing with, this probably gives me 3 to 5%, maybe. But you add all that up, you add my defenses up, and it does add up to about 75 to 80% protection. So I'm getting hit by like 20% of what I would really be getting hit with nothing. The plugs are just the greatest. And Altera is really good to work with. And if you get plugs, like if you spend, and I know it's expensive because it's $50 a plug, but start out with 2. See how it helps you, and then maybe go to 4. Just over time, kind of build your defense, and it's worth it. It's really worth it, because then you can maybe go to work. You won't be at home all the time. You can get some good sleep. So it's worth it for, to buy 6 plugs is $300, but in the end, that $300 is going to be so much comfort for your life. And I've admitted it to y'all. I've spent about $10,000, mostly for the plates. When I had a job, I'd buy a plate every 2 weeks. Pretty much every time I got paid. And I really don't regret any of the money spent, because it really has helped me. With my situation, it is a lot of ex-military guys, so they do have training on how to, discipline on doing this all the time. And I guess that's pretty much all of us. We get people who they have discipline to do this all the time, to work it as a job, to strengthen the signal. I think they can boost it up by putting more power to the remote station, or adding weapons. So you're not just dealing with something where you're going to be able to get 2 plugs and then that's it. You're dealing with people who are going to try and work past that. But these are some great ideas. They've worked for me. It helps you keep in the fight. It helps you remain focused. And I made a video where it's very true. The less that you're hurt, the more calm you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to talk about this stuff intelligently. The more people won't see you as crazy, or the people who harass you outside won't really have anything to go on if you're not being tortured so badly by the microwaves, the electromagnetic frequencies. Um, ooh, having trouble breathing right now. I guess that's it. I just wanted to go over my defenses, and kind of, I got some more time. I'll do, because I'm gonna have to do part two to this. But it's worked out really good, and the reason, I mean, the plugs are definite because, like, I had two plugs pulled out from here, two plugs pulled out from here. There were about six in all that were pulled out and just put on the floor, not because my roommates or friends or, you know, trying to gang stalk me or anything, but just because they don't think they're important. They don't know what they are. And we have a lot of people who need to charge phones and we need to plug in blenders and stuff in the kitchen. It's been a little bit tougher because at my house, you know, I'd have, you know, surge protectors to do all that, and then I would just leave the plugs in, because the deal with the plugs is you need to leave them in for a long time for them to build up that field. So if they're always being pulled out and put back in, they're going to be so much less effective, which is kind of a little bit of a trouble for me right now. But my roommate is like willing to. She's willing to be like, yeah, you know, you can do that. You know, definitely, I'll work with you on that. She's very cool and understanding, and I don't even think she believes a lot of stuff about this. Like, she believes a little bit, but not as far as it really goes. And still a very, very good person. Like, helps me a lot. Trying to think what else. I would just say, like, in my place, I guess I do want to mention there are some things you can buy from Less EMF to cover up your windows, and that's also an aluminum polyester. I would suggest putting stuff on the windows because, like, I've done readings, and, like, in the middle of the house, it's always 0.8, 0.9, should be 0.5, so there's a little bit of electromagnetic frequencies coming into the house. Now, when I go up to the top of the window, it'll be like a 1 point something. So I'm not sure how sometimes I think they come in from very weird angles. They try and get, you know, the most power coming through the window or something like that. So they may be hitting you at a lower angle with the radar. They may not be coming straight through your roof because they may not get enough power that way. I guess that's it. I guess that's it till the next one. I'm going to think of some more defensive stuff. I'm going to test out this Hadron, EMF radiation protection. The plugs are such a way to go. If you're in your house, you can at least get sleep and rest at your house. And then if you buy a personal defender, like, I'll let y'all know about the Hadron Defender. I think it works a little bit. It's not as good as a Q-Wave personal defender, and it's $60. I just recommend, saving up and getting a personal defender. So when you go out, it will buffer some of the stuff remotely. Each one probably buffers at about 5% or something like that. So, you're not looking at something that's a cure-all. But my opinion on this is there's not going to be a cure-all for a while. I think there will be. I think we'll get more powerful stuff we can just put on our body and create fields around this. But until then, we've got to use what's kind of available to the public, which is Q-Wave, Altera.com, AULTERRA. Then you got LessEMF.com, which has lots of great stuff. The material, if you're going to use copper, you'll need to, put it all around you. Because if you just put it on top of you and under you, it's like they can come in at another angle or kind of miss it. They can go around that stuff. So if you are going to buy the material to put around you, make sure that you're sealing yourself off. I'm not doing that stuff. Because I do live with a roommate. We have friends over all the time, and just the copper on my ceiling, it's like people are like, oh, that's kind of weird. They're very polite about it, but you know how people are. They'll be like, oh, that's not too bad, but then it's like, people kind of they're not gonna say to your face, you're crazy. But okay, I think that's it. I'll try and make some more videos kind of about, what works and what doesn't work. I'll test some more stuff out. But since replacing those plugs and waiting about a day, it's really it's really dulled down a lot because yesterday, I mean, they were hurting me so badly. I sat down just watching TV, and it was just like the side of my head was being just punched in, by microwave knives. Um, so it does work. So I've tested this stuff; it does work, and I'm trying to come up with better stuff. I don't know if you're just being hit remotely. You might want to try a plate if you have a job, if you have enough money to kind of spend on this stuff and experiment with it. I mean, because it is your life, it's your comfort, so it's worth it. But I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's coming out that's a lot cheaper. But I just want to go through kind of what I use. I think I might do some thermal blankets and just kind of at night, cover myself up, or maybe put them in a comforter or something like that. I didn't go into the aluminum. Aluminum does block it. Corrugated steel does block it. If you are living alone, and you could do some of that stuff and be able to just move it in the morning, I would really recommend putting that around where you sleep. Um, I might, I'm going to talk to my mentor because he has a conference call, and I'll put the information for his conference call on because I want all y'all, I want as many people to come to those talk shoe calls and pass information along to each other, because the more information that we have from each other and each other's situations, the better we can understand how this works. That if you move to another place, how long does it take for them to come and kind of corrupt an area and lie about you? People, can they, do they shift microwave weapons? And what, like, which attackers would shift the microwave weapons over to another point. Like, I've got a situation where my attacker at my house that I used to live at, I mean, he really built it up. I mean, remote stations, he's got the remote neural monitoring, directed energy weapons, ground weapons, EHF, all working off a remote station. So, and he's ex-army, so and the people who started were kind of ex-military. So I don't think that they're going to come over here with a $10,000 to $15,000 remote station and just give it to the neighbors and trust them on this. But they still want me to think that they do stuff like that. Um, so still working on it, but I wanted to kind of give y'all, what my defenses are, and in every little defense, even if it's a 3% gain, which I think these little Hadron things, it's like a 3 to 5% gain. But you add those up, and you keep adding that up, and you keep adding that up, and you'll get to where it's like they're only hitting you with 15% power. And then you can deal with that. Your mind can deal with that. You can kind of calm down and really think things through. But all right, guys, you can help other people. You can write a blog or whatever, if you're thinking clearly, if you're not too focused on this. I haven't been able to, for a couple of years, for maybe 2 years, I haven't been able to make it disappear. I used to be able to when you first started. Like, I'd use my defensive weapons and actually make everything disappear. V2K, ELF, EHF. Now I can make the EHF disappear. I can dull down the ELF to where it's just soreness on my body. And then I can do the V2K where I can't understand what they're saying. It's kind of just like, but I can't make it go away like I used to be able to, because he's built up his arsenal of remote directed energy weapons to a point where it's hard to get it to totally disappear. All right, guys, I'm at 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this, but I will see you guys on the next one. God bless you. God bless you in your fight, and never stop. Never surrender on this one. We're going to do this, all right? All right, I love y'all, and God bless you. I'll see you on the next one.